It's funny, isn't it, how a child knows instinctively that the emperor has no clothes. They haven't yet learned to fear the silence that follows the truth. And every one of us has that child inside that knows when the car seat has become a cage. And part of you is always listening for that authentic voice. Now I want you to imagine a lobster, a ridiculous creature. It has a rigid, hard shell. It doesn't grow within the shell. No, when it's time to grow, it feels a pressure and discomfort, and then instinctively knows to find a safe place, to let the old shell crack open. And for a time, it's so soft, vulnerable, exposed in the open water with no armour. And it would be so easy to see that softness as weakness, that space as emptiness. But the lobster doesn't panic. It rests. It absorbs water, and it expands into a new, larger, more capable form. And only then does a new shell, a new structure harden around its new, greater size. You already know this process. You've done it 1,000 times. Every time you outgrow a friendship, or a hobby that once defined you, or a version of yourself you once believed was permanent, you felt that pressure. You cracked that shell. You floated in the strange, peaceful, vulnerable space before the new structure emerged, and you survived. You thrived. And you can allow yourself to remember how natural that feels. And the beautiful, scientific truth is, this is the pattern of all living systems. A star doesn't shine forever in a steady state. It builds up pressure until it must explode into a supernova, scattering the very elements that make life possible across the void. And what looks like a cataclysm is actually a creation. A forest fire seems like an end, but the ash fertilizes the soil, and the sunlight, once blocked by a dense canopy, can now reach the forest floor, allowing new seeds to germinate that could never have grown in the shade. Your mind, that brilliant prediction engine, is like a sailor who only feels safe when he can see the shore. It will cling to a familiar barren coastline rather than set sail for a new continent it can't yet see. And it will whisper all sorts of logical, reasonable fears. What if there's nothing out there? What if I get lost? What if I drown? But what if you could thank that cautious sailor for his concern and let him know the ship itself, your core being, is seaworthy, and the vast open ocean, that void, it's not empty. It's teeming with currents that carry you to shores beyond your wildest imagination. And the only way to discover them is to let the old coastline disappear from view and be comfortable floating in the peaceful, pregnant possibility of not knowing. And you don't have to force anything, any more than a seed forces itself to grow. It simply rests in the dark soil, and the transformation happens naturally, from the inside out. So I wonder, which outdated shell, which familiar coastline are you ready to say goodbye to? And you don't need to answer with words, because a deeper part of you already knows and can begin to play with the feeling of what it will be like when that structure simply dissolves and you find yourself floating not in emptiness, but in a space of pure potential where anything is possible. And from this space, your new form, your new direction, your new life can organically, effortlessly begin to take shape in ways that are more aligned, more authentic, and more powerfully you than the old structure ever could have allowed. And it's safe to rest here. It's safe to expand. it's safe to become.